This video is sponsored by Wing Technology, your ultimate flight sim hardware solution, featuring the Orion hull test, current and future configurations.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. It's late June 2021 and we've just got access to the Chinese fighter mod pack, which looks to be really exciting. This is a free mod that includes several aircraft, including some new Chinese weapons. All credit goes to Snowy Wolf, who at least sent me the link, and so I'm assuming that he also is responsible for the mod. Fighters included in the pack are the J-11B with a custom radar and a PL-12A enhanced medium-range air-to-air missile, the J-11D custom flight model and engine model and custom radar with custom missiles, the J-15 J-16 batch 07, the J-16D, the J-20, the Stealth Gen 5 Chinese fighter, fully custom flight model, custom radar with custom missile, 5th Gen Stealthy, the J-7D, the MiG-21 Biz with Chinese missiles and radar, and the KJ-600 Chinese EW aircraft. Here are some of the weapons included. There are a lot more. The PL-12A, which is an SD-10 with a better countermeasure resistance. The PL-15 long-range air-to-air missile. Looks like we'll have to test the maximum range of that. The PL-10, 90 degrees off-bore sight air-to-air missile, so close range hob. Air-to-ground, YJ-83KH, updated CM802 AKG, which is included on the JF-17. A YJ-91 ARM, which is a Chinese KH-31P. A YJ-91AS, Chinese KH-31A. A YJ-12 Deadly Mach 2 sea skimming anti-ship missile, and a bunch of others, as you'll see. So, we start here with the main download. I will give you this link obviously in the video description. Click on that. Then I'm going to go right click there and I'm going to go download. That's going to zip up. It's going to take a while because it's a big file, and then it will download. Once it's downloaded, we will go to our downloads area. There. We will get that file there. Click into it. This file, I'm going to then right click and copy. Then I'm going to go to where my saved games area is saved. For me, that's C drive. Users. Me, saved games, DCS or DCS open beta, mods. If you don't have this folder, make it and call it exactly that. In mods, we have aircraft. Again, if you don't have that folder, make that. Right click, paste, and you can see I've got it in there. Note, these mods will not work without Granelli's F-22A Raptor mod and the Su-35 mod. I will put the links in the video description to these two mods as well. I'll put the link to my video, which includes the download instructions, because the download links do change from time to time. It's just easier if I do that to keep everything up to date. So you will have 3 links in the video description that will give you all these 3 things. Next, let's get into DCS. Mine is DCS Open Beta, latest version, late June 2021. We're in game now. The first thing we need to do is ensure that all 3 required mods have been picked up and understood. So look along our installed mods / modules along the bottom here. We can see F-22 Mark IIA is in there and working. J-15, that covers all of the J models under one single mod, is there and working. And we should get the Su-35 somewhere. Blah, 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 blah. Su-35 with a simple flight model working. Next, controls. This is a bit of a pain in the butt. We're going to go controls here, and under the aircraft here, we must set up the J-11A is already in the game normally, so that's an ED thing. That's not a Snowy Wolf thing. We need to set up the J-11D, the J-15, the J-16 flanker, and the J-20. Now there are more planes than that, but this is all we have to set up. The other controls, it seems to grab from other planes. So the D, the 15 and the 16, set them up, as far as I can see, identical to the J-11A. So if you are running this mod, then I'm pretty sure that means you would already have to have Flaming Cliffs 3, which means you would already have the J-11A, which means you would already set the J-11A up. So you can either manually set these controls up identical to the J-11A, or you can actually copy the J-11A config file. So if you look in saved games, DCS config input folder, what I did was I got J-11A there, copied it, I pasted it to make another version, and then I just renamed it J-11D, renamed another one J-15, renamed another one J-16 space 07 space batch, and that was all of those set up and working. The J-20 has to be a copy of the F-22A controls. So all I did was got the F-22A controls, copied it, made another copy, and renamed it to the J-20, and everything's worked fine. So, two techniques. One, you can copy the folders like I showed there, or two, you can go through and set these three up as per the J-11 manually, and that as per the F-22A manually. Depends how lazy you are, but otherwise, that is all of the controls set up. So, okay to that. Next, let's go and set up a mission for them. So I'm going to go to Mission Editor, I'm going to go to New, and I'm going to create a new mission in the Persian Gulf. Here we are in the Persian Gulf. I'm going to go to this base here, I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to make it blue. I'm going to click New Aircraft Group there, I'm going to click on the ramp there. I'm going to make it not USA, I'm going to make it Combined Joint Task Forces Blue. If you don't have, or you could make it China, I suppose, that would work as well. But I just want to be blue for some reason. There you go. I now have access to all of the aircraft. So I scroll down here under the type. I can make it a J-11B, a J-11D, a J-15, a J-16 07 batch, a J-16D, or a J-20, or a J-7D, or a KJ-600. I think the KJ-2000 is already in the game. Correct me if I'm wrong. So let's just make it one of those. Let's make it a J-20. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Next, I'm going to make the skill client. That means we can fly it. Next, the type. I'm going to go take off from ground hot. There. I'm going to point it in the direction I want to point it. And that is our aeroplane in and ready to fly. I'm going to skip forward time now and put all of the aircraft in. Okay, I've changed bases to Qassar because I like flying out of there, and I've added all of the Chinese fighter mod pack in. I put 2 of each in because Simba's going to be flying with me today. So let's go over each plane, over their credentials, and over what we can arm them up with. J-11B. Obviously, the J-11B, the D, these are Su-27 variants, I think. I'm not great on China, but let me know. The J-15 is what this one here. This is the Su-33 variant. The J-16 is the Su-30 variant, I think. So you've got 2 pilots in there. The J-20 is the standalone 5th gen. The J-7 is, of course, the MiG-21 variant. And this guy here is the Hawkeye variant. So let's start with the J-11 Bravo. Under each of these aircraft, we're going to have a couple of relevant skins that we can choose. Missiles on the outermost pylons. We're going to have air-to-air PL-8A and PL-8B. These are small, relatively low-range infrared missiles originated from the Israeli Python 3 air-to-air missiles, and they were created in the 80s. Pods, just smoke there. Pylons 2 and 9. Air-to-air missiles, same thing. Pods, same thing. Pylons 3 and 8. Air-to-air missiles. PL-12. My understanding is that the PL-12 is the equivalent of the SD-10, which we already have in game, used by the J-17. It's, if you like, the Chinese equivalent of the NATO AMRAAM, medium range Fox 3 air-to-air missile. We've also got the A variant, which is a more modern variant with increased EW resistance. Then we've got the mighty PL-15. This is not too dissimilar looking, but it is a modern long-range variant. We have an operational range quoted of around 300 kilometers. Bombs, as far as I can see, the same as the Russian flanker equivalent, so we're used to all of this stuff from the flanker equivalent. Rockets, ditto, same thing. Pylons 4 and 7. Air-to-air missiles, same as the previous pylons, and bombs, reduced factor of the previous missiles. Inner pylons, same missiles, reduced bombs, and we've got some smokes. So that is the J-11 Bravo. Let's go on to the J-11 Delta. We've got a bespoke model here, which is pretty nice. PL-10, very modern, fairly low range, infrared seeking air-to-air missile, high off-bore sight missile. I guess you'd say similar to the AIM-9X as fired by NATO. Pods, we've got a jamming pod or smokes. Got the same missiles, very effective missiles. Just one bomb that we can use. And we've got some smokes, pylons 3 and 10. We've got the PL-10, Hob missile, operational range quoted of around 20 kilometers, by the way. PL-15 long-range missile, and these which you'll already all recognize from the Russian variant. And I've just noticed, wowza, it's got an R-37M long-range intercept missile. I had no idea it carried that. How about that? That's going to need testing. Right. Where's it gone? Okay, let me just check all the others. The others are standard. We know from the game already. Yep. So, very interesting equipment there. Air to ground. Zip. This awesome piece of kit, and let's face it, it does look awesome. It reminds me of the old British Bloodhound missile. Is the KH-31 Papa. This is an anti-radiation missile. It's a 600 kilo thumping great warhead. It has inertial guidance and passive seeker, I guess, relatively similar to the Harm in the way it's going to function. We've also got our usual arrangement of bombs, pods, and rockets. Pylons 4 and 9. Air-to-air missiles. That is the same as we had before. Good arrangement of missiles. We've got the anti-radiation missile. The same bombs, the same pods, the same rockets. 5 and 8. A reduced set of missiles. We've got the anti-radiation missile, which has a range of around 60 nautical miles, by the way. I guess that's similar to a Harm in that case. Reduced bombs, pods, and finally, reduced missiles, bombs, and pods. So that's the J-11D, which does look like a serious weapon. Imagine if it was armed up with all KH-31Ps. Next, we're going to move on to a C variant. We've got here the J-15. Now here's where things start to get really spicy. So there it is, not dissimilar to the Su-33, that obviously run by Russia naval aircraft. On the outside, it's all going to be similar stuff. Well, actually, we've got it here. It can carry an AIM-9X, Amica IR, PL-10, and an adder. Now, if anyone knows if that's right or if the guy's just playing around, I don't know, but it's very interesting if it could. Presumably the PL-10 would be the most accurate thing for it. The Hob Infrared Fox 2. What else can we have? Pods. We've got 2 different ECMs, so that'll be interesting. Pylons 2 and 11. We've got the same missiles, also the medium-range PL-12, which is interesting, the older PL-8, and, wow, an R-27 ET on pylons 2 and 11. What a beast. All these missiles we've seen before, but pretty amazing. Very interesting. Next, pylons 3 and 10. Air-to-air missiles, everything we've seen before. Basically, it can carry pretty much anything in terms of Chinese and Russian. It doesn't have the R-37, interestingly. They're air-to-ground missiles. We've got the AGM-84H SLAM-ER. That's a bit weird, but apparently it's got that. Okay. And it's got, wow, look at all these air-to-ground munitions that it's got. This is all stuff that can be carried by the JF-17. You've got the kind of Chinese Maverick 701 there. You've got the cruise missiles, anti-ship and anti-land cruise missiles fired by the JF-17. I mean, how much of this actually works properly, I don't know. We're going to have to find that out. We've got the GBU-6, the J-Cell similar variant, but the Chinese version of. We've got, my favourite, the KH-29. I love this giant bunker-busting weapon. Various seeker heads. We've got the laser. We've got the optical. KH-31. We've got the A and the P. The P variant we've already looked at. The A variant is similar, but an anti-ship variant, which is interesting. What else have we got? KH-35, which is an anti-ship missile, more modern, I believe, with a half-ton warhead. We've got... I'm assuming it can't carry most of this in real life. I haven't got the foggiest, obviously. But there you go. We've got the KH-59M, which, look at that thing. I was in game already, but it does look absolutely amazing. Something from Star Wars, which is air to ground, but it's just absolutely enormous. LD-10 anti-radiation missile. That's interesting. Chinese. We've got, here we go. We've got the YJ-12. These are missiles that the guys added in. YJ-12. This is a Chinese supersonic anti-ship missile. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get this working. Next, we've got the YJ-83K. This is another anti-ship missile. I think there is a variant of this that's actually fired from their modern ships as well. We've got the YJ-83KH, which is similar but with a different terminal seeking method. And that is that lot. Bombs, it's going to be all the same stuff we've looked at before. Rockets, ditto. Pylon 4 and 9. Oh, this could go on forever. All the same stuff we looked at before, but very cool. Air-to-ground missiles, I believe all the same stuff we looked at before. Bombs, same. Pods. Now this is interesting. A data link pod, a KG600, and a WMD. So WMD7 is a T-pod. A data link pod is for controlling some of those missiles that have client active terminal phase, like the AKG missile, 802 AKG. A KG600, I don't actually know. So you guys will have to let me know what that is. Next, pylons 5 and 8. I think we've got there. Air-to-air missiles, reduced of what we've had before. Air-to-ground, reduced of what we've had before. Bombs, what we've had before. Pods, those pods again. We've got next air-to-air missiles, reduced to what we've had before. And here we get the big one. Here we get the big one, valued viewers. We've got the mighty KH-41 SSN-22 Sunburn with a 4.5 ton warhead. Just the biggest, most bad bottomed thing you will ever see. Can the real one carry this? I just don't know. I just, I'm completely reliant on you guys at this point. But if it can, then is that the best plane and missile combination in the world? I guess I have to ask you valued viewers that at that point. So that is the mighty KH-41. I wonder if you can have it on here out of interest. Yes, I can. What happens if I have two? Oh, they just go inside of each other. There you go. So I don't know, but pretty amazing. We're going to test this all out, obviously. I should say at this point that take all this with a pinch of salt, valued viewers. These are what we call low fidelity mods. There's nothing wrong with them. The low fidelity mods, and these missiles will be in there, but they will certainly not work like the real missiles. So just take it with a pinch of salt. This is 100% based on fun and not realism. A lot of people see these mods and think, oh, look, it's a super realistic thingy in DCS. It's not. It's fun, but that's fine. Right, I'm aware this is going to take a long time, but it's interesting, isn't it? And I'm learning as I go as well. So this is what I would call the SU-30 variant. However, you guys may and probably do know a lot more than me about that. J-16 07 batch. We've got probably the same stuff we've seen before. I would peel 10, which is the Hob-on-Hob Fox 2 variant. We've got PL10, PL12, PL8, so we've got some medium range missiles and some older Fox 2s. We've got 10, 12 and 15. We've got long range missiles here introduced as well. A whole bunch of air-to-ground missiles here. So we've got the Maverick variant, we've got the 802 AKG cruise missile, we've got the kind of glide bombs, we've got the Kedges, my favourite personal, KH-35, we've got the 59 again, we've got the LD-10 anti-radiation, we've got the YJ anti-shipping missiles as we saw before, and new YJ-91, YJ-91. And if it looks familiar to you from before, it is just the Chinese variant of the KH-31. This is going to be this is the anti-radiation variant there. What else have we got? Bombs are going to be as before. Rockets are going to be as before. We've got all the missiles, including 2 long-range missiles. What the heck is going on there? Look at that. That is ridiculous. They've got the little mounts and everything model. That's very clever. This guy is very clever. I'll give him that. Oh, pods. KG600. No, we've had that before. Scratch that. Bombs as before. Sorry, I've skipped over again. All the air-to-ground munitions as we've seen before. Let's put those things on because they look so bad bottomed. Look at that. Imagine what fighting against that. Who would be a modern fighter pilot nowadays, I swear. Air-to-ground. Yeah, I'm just looking for anything new at this point. I think we've seen all of that stuff, haven't we? Bombs, we've seen all of that. KG600. And what have we got here? We've got the WMD7, which is the Chinese T-pod. And a new one, the Ying C-pod. We've got a Ying C-pod. It looks like another Chinese kind of lightning copy by the looks of it, but very interesting. Never, And we've got Phantasmagoria. Next, we've got the J-16 Delta. J-16 Delta. It looks very similar. We've got no weapons on there, just the ECM. That's interesting. All the usuals that we're used to. Usuals. usuals, usuals. I'm not expecting to see anything different here. Usuals, 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 usual, 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 normal, yep, normal, 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 normal. Well, there you go. That's that. In fact, what is the difference between a J-16-07 batch and a Delta batch? I'm not actually sure. Slightly different weapons. Right, we bring on to the stealth technology, Generation 5. I find this a very interesting aircraft. The reason I like it so much is that they've really gone their own way. America tends to come out with stuff first, and everyone that just copies them. And obviously there are copied elements, but you can't really say that is a Raptor. I mean, you know, that is really quite different, to be fair. And it's massive as well. Put it up to a Raptor, it's huge. Funny looking thing. These yeah, 5th gen looks so ugly to me, but I guess you youngsters, I guess it's your bag, isn't it? Anyway, let's go through and have a look. Air-to-air missiles, PL-10. We know all about that by now. PL-15 long range. If you're a player, you've got to load that. If you've got, it's an AI aircraft, you've got to load that. It's something to do, I think, with the way these doors open and open up. But there you go. Fuel tanks. That's interesting. Ooh, they don't work so good. Look at that. Not so stealthy, but tell me that doesn't look pretty cool, right? I am a fan of this plane, I must admit. I think these are the ones that are in the inside the plane, actually. Okay, we had some LD-10s there as well, which are the anti-radiation variants. We've got some more of these. We've got some LD-10s anti-radiation, and this is a new one. This is, unfortunately I can't see it, it's in the bomb bay. These are the equivalent of, what would I say, the equivalent of probably a J-SAL. They're a bomb with wings, INS GPS guided. Okay, bombs. What a CCIP variant of that. Same thing, just we're going to drive it differently from the cockpit. We'll drop it like a bomb, basically, is what it's saying. You can't do that in real... Maybe you can, actually. I can't remember. Same stuff. Same stuff. Same stuff. There, so we've got some stuff. We've got some guided bombs, some anti-radiation missiles, some long-range, medium-range, and low-range Fox 2s. Okay. And finally, we're getting on to, of course, my favourite, the J-7. They don't build them like this anymore, valued viewers. Some, you know, re-engineered MiG-21, if you like, with decent missiles and some old missiles. I doubt, I'm pretty sure a J-7 can't actually take these old-school missiles, but for whatever reason they're there. And the most modern is, I think, the PL-5E2, the equivalent of a Fox 2 Sidewinder Mike model, I guess you would say. And we got an R60M there, which is bombs, stuff we've all seen before. Apart from that one, TU, I've not actually seen that variant. It's probably on the MiG-21, I just can't remember. Fuel tanks, rockets, mighty S-24. Next, pylon. And here's interesting, we've got a PL-11, a PL-11. Now, we haven't actually managed to find information on this. If you want my opinion, it looks like an AIM-7 copy. I'm going to guess it's a Sparrow. Is it realistic? Absolutely no idea, sorry. And we've got some of the other missiles that we've looked at before. Air-to-ground missiles. We've got the Mighty Grom, of course, which comes on the MiG-21. Bombs, various bombs, including a CBU there, which is an interesting one. And we've got the B-tabs, the runway or the concrete penetrators, which are pretty cool. Information coming in, the PL-11 is the air-to-air derivative of the HQ-61. And the HQ-61 is a semi-active radar homing guided missile, Fox 1, the same type of thing as indeed the AIM-7. So is it a Sparrow copy? I don't know, you guys will have to tell me that. That's interesting. Pods, scum pod. Rockets, same kind of things we've seen before. Bombs. From the MiG, of course, the nukes, the RN-24, the RN-28. I doubt the Chinese one will carry that, but that's what we've got here. We've got a MiG-21 with a T-pod. Jesus Christ. Look. Wowza. Oh, ED, you're not going to like that. But we've got a brand new T-pod on the J-7. Anyway, I think that's... Oh, and one of them. Don't know what that is. An SPS-141. Ah, it's a jammer. It's going to be a jammer, isn't it? Going to be a jammer. Yeah, anyway, so MiG-21 with a T-pod, so I guess we see how that is. Have we got to the end finally? Yeah, and we've got the AWACS, which is an AWACS, but you can't drive it. You can't fly it. So that gives us our planes and the plethora of weapons that you can carry. To reiterate, please don't treat them realistically. They are not, but they are good fun at least. What I'm going to do now in the background is I'm going to arm them up. I'm going to arm one variant with air-to-air. I'm going to arm one variant with anti-radiation. I'm going to arm one variant with anti-ship. One variant with dumb bombs. And welcome back. So let's show you our loadouts today. The J-11B is going to be our air-to-air fighter. It's going to be equipped with 4 times PL-8As and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 PL-15 super long range air-to-air Fox 3 missiles. Our J-11D is going to be our bomb truck. It's going to be equipped with all the bombs. Small bombs, big bombs, cluster bombs, dispenser bombs. Next, our naval variant is going to be anti-shipping, which kind of makes sense. We are going to have the biggest loadout known to mankind. I mean, look at that. Why wouldn't you want to fly with that? It's got some air-to-air missiles. It's also got, what have we got? The 802AK from the JF-17, the KH-35, the YJ-12, the Phantasmagoria to allow us to use the missiles, a KH-41 Sunburn, the big chunker in the middle, the YJ-12, and the same on the other side. Not bad, huh? Next, we've got the J-16 07 batch, which is going to be our ground attack. It's going to have a WNB-7 T-pod. It's going to have YJ-91 air to surface. It's going to have GB-6HE glide munitions and the Mavic type weapon, the C-701 Tango optical seeker head variant. And next it's going to be the J-16 Delta, which is going to be our anti-radiation aircraft. Is going to have an E-lint to allow the missiles to work, and 6 times YJ-91 anti-radiation missiles. The stealth is going to be a mixture of a missile truck with all of the PL-15s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 long-range missiles and some heat seekers and a pilot. And finally, everyone's favourite, the J-7 Delta is going to have a T-pod, just because T-pod on MiG-21, 2 Sparrow type weapons, and 2 PL-5 Sidewinder M equivalents. That should be interesting. Next, let's look at the models and the cockpits. So let's start in the J-11 Bravo. As you can see, it has a Su-33 cockpit. Low fidelity, so you cannot interact with the buttons, but the passive gauges will work. The HUD is also from the Flanger variant. It does have a few changes though, as you'll see later. The 3D model is pretty top notch. Next, bomb truck J-11D. This time we have the cockpit from the Su-35 mod. Again, low fidelity in that you cannot interact with it, but we do have gauges and MFD type gauges that do work. Outside model is pretty smart. Naval J-15 strangely does not have an Su-33 cockpit. It has the Su-35 cockpit as before. Outside looks pretty smart. Next, the Batch 7. Su-35 cockpit inside. Pretty smart high fidelity kind of model on the outside, which is great. The 16 Delta, Su-35 cockpit. Although there are 2 crew members, we can only be the front pilot. We can't be the rear guy. J-20, it has the F-22 kind of cockpit in here. We can't get the MFDs working. We have tried to contact Snowy, but we haven't got a response yet. But otherwise, it's just going to be the same as the F-22, which is pretty smart. Some nice textures and stuff. With a F-15 or a modified F-15 HUD Outside is a pretty poor model, to be honest. The J-7, strangely, has a MiG-29 cockpit, I believe this is, with really weird mirrors. But that officially is a MiG-21 with a T-pod. Back in the J-11 Bravo. Next flight model. They're all going to be pretty poor flight models, to be honest. They will all be what we call SFM, Standard Flight Model. This is the flight model that the AI aircraft use in the game. It's very simple. Basic few parameters that you put in. You can always tell when it's an SFM because the aircraft doesn't handle right on the ground. And you know, as soon as you start plodding along, if you ever did this in a real aeroplane, the aeroplane would immediately just tip over. Simple as that. That's how you can test very quickly if it's an SFM or another one. But it is what it is. You know, it's by far the easiest way to create a simple mod, and that's what this is, a simple mod. So it's fine. Next, we're going to take off and start shooting some things. Okay, we're still in the J-11B, so these are the air-to-air loadouts that we got with the massive PL-15s. I've got my buddy Simba with me. Say hello, Simba.
Hello.
Can we please taxi to the runway takeoff, keep on runway heading, and we're going to shoot some baddie-waddies down. Off we go. How's that ground handling? We love showing the SFM stuff, don't we? Yes, we do. We don't need to do anything clever. Let's just go take straight off and head up. Last one, there's a rotten egg. Last one to get a PL-15 on someone's face is a rotten egg. Is that what you want to be, Simba? A rotten egg?
No.
No, you don't. If you notice, Simba, we've got the, what is it? The Su-27 HUD symbology with some modifications in there, as you can see.
Yep.
Airborne. Oh, it's quite fast. I'll give you that. Alright, I'm going to turn my radar on. The way I'm going to do this value views is exactly the same as you would control a flanker. Simple as that. So, I'm going to turn our radar on with I. I'm going to turn to BVR mode. See some baddies up there already. I'm going to zoom out a bit. I'm going to select the first baddie.
Launch authorized.
I've got selected my, if I can get my cursor up, my PL-15 as by standard. We're already way within launch limits, which shows me how good this missile's going to be. And we've got one PL-15 out. Zap, zap, zap. Boom. What a beast of a weapon. Look at it go. Look at it climb. Another one. Rah, rah, rah. That is going to be the most dead baddie you've ever seen in the world. Ever. Okay, I've sent a lot of missiles off, I'm not going to lie. We will test the maximum range of this missile otherwise, so do not fear, valued viewers. While we're waiting, we'll have all the usual other flanker-esque air-to-air technology, including the helmet-mounted sights. Do us a favour, put a couple of flares out, would you? Trying to lock you up. There he is. And trying to lock him up with the IR. There you go, got him locked on the EO there. You can fire a sidewinder or whatever you wanted to do. Let's see these missiles home now. Funking great missile. This is going to be a bad day for whoever's on the receiving end of it, I'm not going to lie. He's got break 16 PL5s coming towards him. We fired from 40 miles at low level, which is pretty much unheard of for any missile that I've tried out. So this thing promises to be a real beast. In terms of realism, not the foggiest. There, that thing there is about to die. Oh, you've already got him. Oh no, you fired at a different target. I got one. And I hate to break the news to you, buddy. Oh, down he goes. And thump knocker. Right in the nuts. Boom. That's an air-to-air, otherwise the same as the flanker. Let's jump in the next one, Simba, the bomb truck. Welcome to the J-11D. Off we go. We've got some baddies at the end of the runway. We're going to put some bombs on their faces.
Oop, I'm going to have to remap this.
Oh, embarrassing for you. Let's go. Wow, this one really moves on the ground. They're funny. Simba, I'll see you in hell. Come on, you big heavy galoot. Man, flankers are so heavy. powerful it is, even with all the bombs in the world. What a ridiculous aeroplane. Right, anyway, stop showing off.
Speed.
Okay, press 7 for air to ground mode. Air to ground mode now. Press change weapon to select the bombs, and we've got, it doesn't actually tell you which bomb you've got selected. That's interesting. So we're just going to drop whatever it chooses, which is going to be interesting. I'm going to run in for a high pitch CCIP dive. There's the baddies. Let's see what bombs we can get out, shall we?
Minimum
Don't you
speed.
tell me about minimum speed, lady. I'll show you minimum speed. Put the thing on the thing and press the button. Gotta wait until it actually gets onto the HUD first.
Launch
There we go.
authorized.
I don't like him, or him. Boom! Ha ha ha! There's a bunch of cluster bombs, look. Sup. Let's go and do that again. Let's go and do that again, valued viewers. You see, we've got vectored nozzles on here. They're not actually modelled really in terms of the flight model, so don't get excited. But they do look cool.
Minimum speed. Launch
Get some.
authorized.
Ah, I went too low. Dog numb it. What happens when you show off? Running in.
Launch
Okay.
authorized.
Come get some, sir. There's our
Launch
CCIP Pippa.
authorized. Launch
Get some.
authorized.
Boom! Look at that. And of course, we do have the cannon as well, which we can use the same as the flanker. Apologies, valued viewers, I got a little carried away in the J-11 Delta. Next, we're into the behemoth that is the J-15, the naval variant. And just look at that loadout. Absolutely insane. Simba, we're going to do some anti-shipping. Off we go. We'll find some baddie frigates off to the port side once we're able. That's some nice manoeuvring. Look at the loadout on him. Look at the loadout on him, valued viewers. Look at the loadout. Are your YJ-12s scraping on the ground? Because mine are.
This is also the one that allegedly will land on a carrier. The hook does come down.
Roger. Okay, I'm sure it does. Oh, goodness gracious. I had a minor problem with the engines are stuck on full burn, but that's okay. We'll get around that. Valued viewers.
That's what happens when you get Chinese knockoff hardware.
Right engine
Okay, we
fire.
had some minor errors there, but we'll cut that out of the video,
Radar
valued viewers.
failure.
There we go, valid viewers. Watch this big son of a bee. Watch the son of a bee go. Dragging its huge bottom along. It's so heavy, Simba. How did you even get airborne?
Full flaps.
Full flaps coming right up, sir. Flaps down. Come on. Lift. 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 Yeah. Just in time. Wowza. Wowee. Mine is slipping so bad to the left, it's ridiculous. Oh, I've only got one engine running. Well, I found out why I had some problems. I've only got one engine running. Welcome back. I've got my other engine working. Let's go and do some anti-ship. So, press 7 to get air-to-ground mode up. Press I to get our Phantasmagoria E-Link pod on. Fine. Any one of these juicy shipping targets. Move our TDC cursor over to them. Press target lock on them. Oops, go on. Get in. Is that guy locked there? Right. It doesn't tell me what weapon I got selected. You got the same problem?
I do have the same problem.
Now, interestingly, down the bottom right of the HUD, it should tell me what weapon I've got selected, and it doesn't. So we're just going to try firing. I'm going to press launch permission override and try firing and see what happens. Of course, nothing happens. I apologise, valued viewers. I can't get any of the anti-shipping weapons working. I'll come back to you that if I can find a fix. Let's jump on to the next one. Next, we're in the batch 7 with our plethora of air-to-ground guided munitions. Let's go, Simba. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. There's definitely something wrong with your jet. Definitely something wrong with your jet. He doesn't realise what's wrong with his jet. It makes me laugh.
I made it turn just fine.
Nothing else is a good laugh. Right. Guided air to ground. Here we come. Right, we're going to press 7 to get air to ground on. It's got our 701s loaded at the moment, and that's fine. We're going to bring up our T-pod with O, and it doesn't work. Can you confirm it's not working for you?
Correct, it is not working.
Brilliant. So let me get this right. None of the guided weapons are working.
It appears so.
Right, so it turns out none of the guided weapons appear to be working at all, as far as we can see. Anti-shipping not working, E-Link not working, and electro-optical appears not to be working either. Not sure what to say about that. Well, at least I can ram into them with our face. How about that?
Just don't eject.
Oh yeah, in fact, I can't. If I eject, I'll crash the server, and if I run my face into the ground, it'll also crash the server. So, we're out there. So, we've pretty much come to an end to this. Basically, what we found is nothing works. The anti-ship missiles won't fire. The arms won't fire. We can't get the T-pod to work at all. It turns out it's more or less just a massive waste of time, which is annoying because we're not blessed with a lot of time, but there we go. Let's try the J-20 before I could lose my rag completely. J-20, off we go.
So this one has a bug with the engines.
Of course it does. Rightio.
This is when I was telling you that, like, it's weird, like, they won't go in the burner at the same time. Like, throw them forward, then you gotta back one out and put it back in.
Probably. Some very interesting flight dynamics going on here.
Is it the rudder being in reverse?
No, I'm stuck on. It's just spinning round in circles go to the right. At least I haven't crashed yet. Oh, slowed it down.
Yeah, that's the engines.
Of course it is.
You gotta, you gotta take the right engine now, I guess, all the way back to idle and back to burner.
Right, appears I'm supersonic now. Okay, I'm back in control of the aircraft. The rudder is in burst, isn't it? The rudder is in burst.
Yep.
I was just making it worse. Well, there you go, valid viewers. Let's turn the radar on, see if we can get that working. Yes, we can get a radar working, but there's no radar screen. Do you agree?
Yes. I mean, I can kind of see through it, but yes, it's not very effective.
Where are you seeing through? What are you seeing? Oh, hang on. Yep, it's got to be
You
on
got
the
to turn the
radar.
FCR on the middle.
Wow,
It's
that's
still
annoying.
all patchy, but yeah, I locked up.
You managed to, right. Apparently Simba managed to lock someone up. Let's see if I can. You know what? Life's too short. I'm not going to try and get that working. Let's see how fast it goes. That's the one thing I can think of doing, maybe. No, I can't do that because it just spins around in circles. Okay, I'm on. Yeah, I can only get one engine working. Okay. There you go, valued viewers. Can't really get that one working either, I'm afraid. Can it do any stunts or something? Whee! There you go, look at that. Stunt! Okay, I'm going to get out of that one. Let's try the, I'm going to try the J-7. Did you manage to get a missile out of the J-20?
Yes, I mean, I haven't fired it, but I definitely got a lock, and I fired them in test.
Roger, okay. Right, I'm going to try the J-7. That won't let me down. 60s tech does not let you down. Fact. No HUD, that's
But you mount
interesting.
the targeting pod to it, so...
I have mounted the targeting pod down. I noticed the J-7 has no HUD. Did you notice that? Off we go, valued viewers. Can't possibly have an engine bug in this one. We've only got one engine. Ha 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 ha. Interesting, I can't get the gear up on this one. Never mind, gear down it is. 7, air to ground. Do you agree we've got no HUD? Are you happy with that? Are you... Is that right?
Sorry, I was still firing a missile in the J-20.
Roger. Okay, I don't. It doesn't look like we get a HUD in the J-7 anyway. And as far as I can see, we can't do anything in this one. Not obviously. Looking around, is there any other thing I could have missed? Right, I guess this one just doesn't do anything. Let's come and watch your missile. Yeah, you got an R-37M out. What did you fire at? Oh, you fired at me. And didn't explode. That's my patience completely gone, if I'm honest. I think we agreed that nothing works apart from the bombs. Are you happy with that?
Yes.
Brilliant. So that was a good use of time. If you want to go and download it, it's there for you. Anything you want to add, Simba?
No.
Bye.